This is why narcissists are pure evil and should never be underestimated. The actions of narcissists and other egocentric individuals beg the question of their motivation. Many of us have difficulty understanding the motivations of narcissists. But anyone who has worked or interacted with a narcissist knows how irritating they can be. Before moving on, let's familiarize ourselves with narcissism by examining its definition and historical evolution. Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is characterized by a lack of empathy and an unhealthy focus on one's own adulation. An individual's support system can be of great assistance in helping to reduce the stress of providing care for someone with this condition in many different ways. When did dealing with narcissists become an everyday occurrence? Narcissism is a real, pervasive mental illness caused by adversity and trauma in early life. If you or someone you know has a history of narcissism, an overprotective and unstructured upbringing may have contributed to it. Young narcissists often have overly fragile personalities. Perhaps they were pampered as a child, or perhaps their parents had lofty goals for them. Still, maybe they have a good reason for their behavior. Narcissists are unquestionably capable of extreme cruelty. They frequently lash out at those closest to them to drive home how much they dislike themselves. Narcissists can be swayed to trust you or overlook your flaws if you shower them with enough love and attention. A narcissist may find you useful until they discover your flaws, at which point they may reject you completely. When a narcissist recognizes your flaws, he or she loses interest in you and may even treat you poorly. Here are 6 instances in which the narcissist's cruelty was on display. Let's examine this and determine what we can learn from it. Narcissists often act with an all-or-nothing mentality because they are driven by a need for unwavering success. There is no middle ground in the mind of a narcissist. Either the world as we know it is perfect, or it is fundamentally flawed. Narcissists frequently fantasize about attaining their ideals of fame, wealth, and physical beauty. One of their primary goals is to inspire envy in others, particularly if they have been successful in obtaining what they desire. Because of their twisted logic, they believe that your success is all their fault. On the other hand, their envy may stem from a lost opportunity to win your approval themselves. If you attempt to persuade a narcissist of anything, they will disregard you and your arguments. When a narcissist competes with you, it is not because they are concerned with your opinion of them. They are unable to fill their time. Someone's lack of emotional investment in the outcome of a situation reflects externally. The people who truly matter to you will be the first to celebrate your achievements. Narcs are the only ones who can change the script. Narcissists won't be there to share in your joy at your achievements. They'll be the first to look for flaws. They will use every available means to prevent you from succeeding. Narcissists are also distinguished by a second characteristic, an innate propensity towards superiority complexes. They delude themselves into believing they are superior to everyone else, despite knowing in their hearts that they are not. In addition to bragging and embellishing their accomplishments, narcissists may verbally abuse, ridicule, and even physically assault their victims. Narcissists often put on airs of superiority in a bid to win the approval of others and exert their will over them. However, narcissists tend to look up to and even worship those they perceive to be selflessly helpful or heroic. A narcissist, on the other hand, has low opinions of everybody except themselves. Narcissists view those who aren't in the spotlight as weak wretches who deserve to be treated with contempt. Narcissists tell themselves they are superior to other people in order to justify their prejudice. Narcissists typically hold grandiose opinions of themselves and believe they are superior to others. The narcissist will always claim that they deserve your worst treatment. The extent to which they find you intriguing or helpful could be a deciding factor. Finally, narcissists can't handle constructive criticism very well. Narcissists have difficulty processing negative feedback. How well we respond to constructive criticism is contingent on our confidence in our capacity to accept it and grow as a result. Narcissists may not seem to care, but they actually take criticism very seriously. When narcissists receive criticism, they often lose their temper and cry. The nature of the criticism makes no difference. Apparently, they are easily offended by criticism. You'll have to admit defeat and accept their superiority if that happens. They will take the situation further if you keep criticizing them without taking responsibility for your own actions. They will exert pressure until they obtain what they desire from you. If they cannot force you to comply with their demands, they will wage war against you. Nonetheless, if the narcissist responds negatively to the criticism, it may be futile to attempt to help them grow from the experience. You must remember that they are totally self-absorbed and will become even more cruel if you criticize them. How do you avoid causing trouble for someone who is preoccupied with themselves? As a fourth point, narcissists have a hard time forgiving their own mistakes. It is more common for narcissists to be motivated by a deep loathing of their own identity than by self-love. Even so, the abused are the ones who are expected to extend forgiveness to their abusers, according to conventional wisdom. The painful process of forgiving oneself is something narcissists must go through. One way people cope with grief is to avoid thinking about or talking about the loss itself. They may decide that the details do not affect their self-esteem, or they may decide to conceal them. In the eyes of a narcissist, the distinction between the two is minimal. When you are aware of what to look for in a narcissist, their false facade falls apart. Their lack of a soul prevents them from feeling compassion for anyone, including themselves. Narcissists don't want to forgive people because their pride gets in the way. They will always try to harm others because they are obsessed with taking in other people's negative energy. Fifthly, narcissists live in a fantasy universe they've created for themselves. There is no mistaking the magnetic appeal of the narcissist. They are pros at making their protagonists sympathetic by giving them a tragic history of mistreatment. We greatly value their boldness and initiative. Having a negative perception of oneself makes us more receptive to advertising. They want us to believe that they are the only ones capable of restoring our vitality and sense of purpose. Interesting protagonists and antagonists can be found in narcissists and other self-absorbed people. The stories of ordinary people who have accomplished extraordinary things will fascinate you. When you think about how things were in the past, you'll realize how drastically they differed from the present. Their seemingly simple lives belie the depths to which their own delusions have blinded them. As a result, it's simple to ignore or justify away opposing arguments. The narcissist goes into defensive, even aggressive mode when he or she perceives that his or her carefully constructed worldview is being threatened. Due to their inability to accept reality, their loved ones will avoid them at all costs. Sixthly, narcissists have difficulty empathizing with those in their immediate vicinity. This explains why narcissists lack empathy. They are heartless and lack compassion. Their callousness originates in an underlying inability to empathize. Individuals who are overly preoccupied with themselves, such as narcissists, find it difficult to relate to those with contrasting viewpoints. Instead, they'll grow up to have an unhealthy, excessive focus on themselves. They have everything they could want from their parents, and as adults, they don't seem to care about the problems their peers face. A narcissist may have a developmental delay, but it is not your job to help them. You've learned your lesson and realized that you were nothing more than a chess piece in a game designed to stroke their ego. Characteristics of narcissists make them incapable of empathy. Since it is against their nature to prioritize the emotions of others, they will not attempt to empathize with you. It may seem wise to give in to the narcissist's harsh demeanor and demands in order to avoid the narcissist's rages and coldness. You would be foolish to believe that would be beneficial. You must accept the narcissist for who they currently are, despite how difficult it may be, rather than for who you hope they will become. Stop making excuses and denying the effects of your destructive behavior. The only way to deal with a narcissist is head-on, so denying their existence is useless. The true test is whether you can keep up such a lifestyle without becoming arrogant. Focus on what you are doing in the present. By gaining a deeper understanding of narcissistic personality disorder, you may be better able to recognize and avoid unhealthy relationships, as well as foster the development of healthier ones. If you enjoyed this video and wish to view similar content in the future, please subscribe, like, comment, and enable push notifications. If you learned something from this video, you should check out my other offerings. Thanks.
Hello everyone, welcome. Narcissistic personality disorder is a mental illness caused by adversity and trauma in early life. It's characterized by a lack of empathy and an unhealthy focus on one's own adulation. Narcissists are known for their extreme cruelty, which can be done by showering them with enough love and attention. When a narcissist recognizes one's flaws, they may lose interest in them and may even treat them poorly. To reduce the stress of providing care for someone with this condition, an individual support system can be of great help. Narcissists are narcissistics who believe in achieving fame, wealth, and physical beauty and are driven by a desire to inspire envy and win approval. They are the only ones who can change the script and use every available means to prevent others from succeeding. They also have an innate propensity towards superiority complexes, believing they are superior to everyone else, and may verbally abuse, ridicule, and even physically assault their victims. Narcissists typically have low opinion of themselves and believe they should be treated with contempt, and the extent to which they find someone interesting or helpful could be a deciding factor in determining their treatment. They can't handle constructive criticism well. Narcissists have difficulty processing negative feedback and are easily offended by criticism. They will take the situation further if they keep criticizing them without taking responsibility for their own actions. They also have a hard time forgiving their own mistakes and are motivated by a deep loathing of their own identity. Narcissists also live in a fantasy universe they have created for themselves, and lack of a soul prevents them from feeling compassion for anyone, including themselves. Narcissism is a magnetic appeal that can be found in people and other self-absorbed people. They are known for their boldness and initiative, and have a negative perception of themselves, which can make them more receptive to adversity. They also have difficulty empathizing with those in their immediate vicinity, making them lack empathy and empathy. Their closeness originates in an underlying inability to empathize. Narcissists often ignore or justify opposing arguments in order to maintain their control over their own worldview. Narcissists are often preoccupied with themselves and lack the ability to empathize with others. They have a developmental delay and are unable to respond to changing perspectives. To avoid this, it's important to accept the narcissists for who they are, not who they will become, and to stop making excuses for their destructive behavior. The only way to deal with a narcissist is to deny their existence. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Also, be sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date on our latest videos. If you have any suggestion or requests for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your support.